It was back last October, I believe it was, and we was a-going to hold a tent service in this college town. Well, we got there about dinner time on Saturday, and different ones of us thought we ought to get us a mouthful to eat before we went and set up the tent. And so we got down off the truck and followed this little bunch of people through this small little bitty patch of woods, and we come up on a big sign that says, "Get something to eat here." And I went up and got me 2 hot dogs and a big orange drink. And before I could take every mouthful of that food, this whole raft of people come up around me and got me to where I couldn't eat nothing up like, and I dropped my big orange drink. I did. Well, friends, they commenced to move, and they wasn't so much I could do except move with them. Well, we commenced to go through all kinds of doors and gates, and I don't know what all, and I looked up over one of them, and it says North Gate. And we kept on a-going through there, and pretty soon we come up on a young boy. And he says, "Ticket, please." And I says, "Friend, I don't have a ticket. I don't even know where it is that I'm a-going." Well, he says, "Come out as quick as you can." And I said, "I'll do her. I'll turn around the first chance I get." Well, we kept on moving through there, and pretty soon everyone got where it was that they was a-going, 'cause they parted and I could see pretty good. I could. And what I seen was this whole raft of people a-sitting on these 2 banks and a-looking at one another across this pretty little green cow pasture. Well, they was. And somebody had took and drawed white lines all over it and drove posts in it, and I don't know what all. And I looked down there and I seen 5 or 6 convicts a-running up and down and blowing whistles. They was. And then I looked down there and I seen these pretty little girls a-wearing these little bitty short dresses and a-dancing around, and so I sat down and thought I'd see what it was that was going to happen. And about that time I got set down good, I looked down there and I seen 30 or 40 men come a-running out of one end of a great big outhouse down there. And everybody where I was a-sitting got up and hollered, and about that time 30 or 40 come a-running out of the other end of that outhouse, and the other bank full, they got up and hollered. And I asked this feller that was a-sitting beside me, I says, "Friend, what is it that they're a-hollering for?" Well, he whopped me on the back and he says, "Buddy, have a drink." Well, I says, "I believe I will have another big orange," and I got it and sit back down. And when I got back down there again, I seen that them men had got in 2 little bitty bunches down there, and they had huddled real close together, and they voted. They voted and elected 1 man apiece, and them 2 men come out in the middle of that cow pasture and shook hands like they hadn't seen one another in a long time. And then a convict come over to where they was a-standing, and he took out a quarter, and they commenced to odd man right there. Well, after a while, I seen what it was they was odd manning for. It was that both bunches full of them men wanted this funny-looking little pumpkin to play with. They did, and I don't know, friends, that they could have ate it, because they kicked it the whole evening, and it never busted. But anyhow, what I was a-telling was that both bunches full wanted that thing, and one bunch got it, and it made the other bunch just as mad as they could be, and friends, I seen that evening the awfulest fight that I'd ever seen in my life. They would run at one another, and kick one another, and throw one another down, and stomp on one another, and grind their feet into one another, and I don't know what all. And just as fast as one would get hurt, they'd tote him off and run another on. Well, they done that as long as I sat there, but pretty soon this boy that had said, "Ticket, please," he come up to me and he says, "Friend, you're going to have to leave because it is that you don't have a ticket." And I says, "Well, all right," and I got up and left. And I don't know, friends, until this day what it was that they was a-doing down there, but I have studied about it, and I think it's some kind of contest where they see which bunch full of them men can take that pumpkin on a run from one end of that cow pasture to the other without either getting knocked down or stepping in something.